Brahmavihara. Those four qualities of Brahmavihara. Why did the Buddha introduce the Brahmavihara? The Buddha only has one meditation actually. His meditation is breath meditation. That's the one that he used. He was 7 years old, he watched his breath very peacefully. Right? The breath is the door to our mind, to our hearts. It is the way that we slowly build ourselves to happiness. Why? Because breathing is very natural, it goes on all the time. So the more you watch it, the more peaceful it becomes. If you live it like that, you connect yourself with the outside world, then this breath also will follow the rhythm of the outside world. The outside world is very dramatic, irrational, unrhythmic, dramatic, traumatic. And so the heart, the perfect, the breath, heart rate, all things like that. Then occasionally you just need to let go of the outside world. When we let go of the outside world, what does that mean? We shut down the senses, 5 senses, for a while. It's not that the senses are bad, not at all. It's because the senses are very sensitive. That's why we need to just give them rest. It's just like overheated engine, just let it be for a while. Shut them down, 5 senses, and focus on just one, the mind. And this breath becomes slower, slower as we watch it. The more you watch it, the more peaceful it becomes. That is the purpose. But then there is something else. The Buddha also teaches the Brahmaviharas, just the other meditation. The reason why the Buddha teaches because it's a lot of people at that time believe in the God idea, Brahma. The word Brahma in your book, Brahma means the high God. In fact, Brahma became so Buddhist, you find today the Hindus don't worship him anymore. There are very few temples in India dedicated to Brahma. But because Brahma Sahantati, who is very close to Buddha, is said to be a non-returner. So he's only a saint. So that's why he's all the time watching, coming down, to invite Buddha to teach and so on. So he's a very important Buddhist figure, if you like. In Jungian psychology, he's called like a father figure. He's got an old man. Mara is a shadow. So on. Then you have the figure of a woman, Mother Earth, and so on. So Jung loved using these ideas. Anyway, so in the Buddhist time, these Brahmins, they believe there's this big God out there. There are all kinds of names for this God, more than one name. And they have this mythology that the Brahmins are born from the mouth, so they chant, they're the teachers, and they're the highest class. And then you have the Kshatriyas, the nobles, they are born with the shoulders and arms, or the chest. Depending on which text you look at. Some say chest, some say arm. But they all meaning protect. They protect this upper class. Protect the country, they rule. These are the Kshatriyas, the politicians, rulers. And then you have the merchant class, they are the hips and the thighs. So they support the other two classes. And then the Shudras, the menial workers, these are class system. And you are born into this, so you are stuck when you are. So this idea, we know very well who invented it, the people at the top, the Brahmins. So the idea is control. But the Buddha said, no, we don't accept this. This is class idea, we don't want this. It's false, it's wrong, it's exploitative. This whole God idea is exploitative, right? Because the Brahmins claim that only you can only go to God through me. To us, we do the prayers for you. Right? You just listen, and of course, give us big donation. And only we can do this prayers for you. So the Buddha said no. That is why sometimes you see in the suttas, people are so happy just being able to discuss with the Buddha. It's not like today, because in the Buddhist time, religion is very limited. It's limited to the Brahmins. So what the Buddha and the Jains, the others are doing, they say, no, we want our own religion. We're not interested in this political Brahmins. We want to liberate religion, if you like. So God is not in heaven. It is in your hearts. Or as one of the books says, the temple of God is inside you. But as a Buddhist, you can understand it very well. I've never heard a Christian explaining Temple of God is in the body. The body is the temple of God. We just don't know how to explain it. Everything is outside. But in Buddhism, we know at once why this body is so important to us. It is the vehicle to awakening, for example. So the Buddha says, no, it's not the God in heaven, even that God is impermanent. But if you practice the four Brahmaviharas, the four divine abodes, you yourself cultivate godliness. You become Brahma Buddha. You become Brahma. You don't believe in a God. It's not that the God is out there. You become those qualities of that God. This is a very important concept. This, in fact, you might say, saved Indonesian Buddhists from believing in the God idea at one point. Many years ago, when Sukarno was in power, the communists were a big threat. So the Sukarno said, well, okay, we have the Panchasila. This Panchasila is not the five precepts of the Buddhists. It is one of the first thing is you must believe in a God. If not, you're a communist. Very simple definition. You don't believe in God, you're a communist. And you're arrested. So the Buddhists are in trouble, because to declare who their God is. So one of these very old man who knows all kinds of Buddhism, including Catholic Buddhism, said, oh, okay, we have Adi Buddha. This Adi Buddha is the very first Buddha. He is the one who created the universe and so on and so forth. That's our God. But the point is, there's no Adi Buddha and Adi Buddhism at all. This is one of those very small intergroup, striving probably in Nepal. And it's really heretical, right? So not many people are comfortable with this. Until the Theravada, they say, oh, we have no problem. We have a better solution. We won't use the word Tuhan, right? We use ketuhanan. There's a Malay prefix suffix an means becomes an abstract noun. Ketuhanan, godliness. And they use the concept of Brahmavihara. Perfect. So it shows that they know the Dharma. Right? Sometimes you know too much Buddhism, you don't know the Dharma. But here, this Theravada man said, yeah, we got Brahmavihara, Ketuhanan. So, in fact, better than that, we cultivate these qualities. And that was accepted. So there you are. There are many ways to solve the Buddhist problem. The right way, the wrong way. Right? So you want to do the right way. So Brahmavihara is a very important way of cultivating godliness in us. It's just a word, godliness. Anyway, it means the highest good, if you like, right? But words are very helpful for people who are fixed to certain ideas, because this kind of idea strikes fear in people, Sometimes in the classes, I find in the universities, and I try to talk about, say, oh, Buddhism, say, no, people cringe, we'll get arrested, So, but when you say Buddha, people are very comfortable. This is the wonderful thing. When you mention God, you mention Buddha. Mention God, people have some sense of fear. They talk about love sometimes, but their love is conditional. You don't believe in God, too bad. But Buddha, believe or not, it's okay. May you be well and happy. The Buddha doesn't threaten anyone. So you can, at once you feel the difference between the two concepts. This alone is so wonderful. But the point is this, when we talk about the Brahmavihara, you can cultivate it. Instead of worshipping, you cultivate. So in Buddhism, in a sense, we do not have prayer because we cultivate that feeling. The difference is this, if you believe in God, you pray. Okay? Prayer is like singing, right? But if you practice as a Buddhist, you are enjoying the joy and peace that music and song produce. It's already there inside. You feel so joyful with or without the external stimulus of the music. So, feeling is very important in meditation. These are all feelings. Feeling is what? Direct experience. Direct experience. Okay? First, we start with loving kindness. Why? Because it's the simplest. Loving kindness is based on the golden rule. It is an extension of the golden rule in the broader sense. I do not want to be hurt. I don't want people to hurt me. I don't want people to take away my life. Other people also think like that, so I should treat them in the same way. So, I must say, may you be very happy. Just as I wish myself happy, may you be very happy. That is why, good teachers will tell you why we keep precepts. You keep precepts because you want to show your compassion. Keeping precepts is also an expression of compassion. Out of loving kindness, out of compassion, we do not kill, we do not steal, we do not commit sexual misconduct, we do not lie, and we don't drive our minds when romantically fail. Okay? So, practicing precept, you need loving kindness and compassion. In fact, you need all the four qualities, but let's just start with loving kindness first. So, loving kindness is to see yourself as you see others, to see others as you see yourself. So Brahma is represented as having four faces. Alright? The four faces are symbolic of, number one, the four qualities. Number two, universality. All around. Okay? Remember, these are images here. I have a little mischievous mind sometimes. I say, okay, these images are really beautiful. These people are all worshipping this Brahma now. Suppose this Brahma really comes to life and say hello. Once you step down from the pedestal and try to shake hands with you, people will run before directions, Especially if one being with 1,000 arms and all those faces. Many of these huge bodies actually come down the pedestal. I think some people will be terrified, because they're not used to the figure of holiness so powerful. That's why they're always images. Because they're meant for meditation. They're meant for meditation. Sometimes people forget that these are real beings like you and I. They are real in the sense that our minds can connect with them. Compassion is real in that sense. But Kuan Yin is not a human being. If you say real as a human being, it doesn't make sense, That's why we must be careful with some of these terms we use. Is Kuan Yin real? Is this Bodhisattva real? What do you mean by real? Real like you and I sitting now? No, in that sense, because this real is impermanent, and not really that cultivated. All these qualities, compassion, how do you represent compassion in a picture, in a statue, visually? That's how it looks like. And they have the power. When you picture them, you meditate on them, you begin to feel that power. So that the content is in our mind, in our hearts. They are real in that sense. We're talking about a higher reality. And this is something we need to understand. Then we have no problem with this kind of images. So, loving kindness. We wish others and we wish ourselves. Loving kindness to all unconditional, whether people need it or not, all kinds of people. Then the second one is compassion. Compassion is normally taught out. Okay? You do your meditation. As you meditate, especially when you send your loving kindness throughout the world, you find there are places which are filled with suffering. Okay? Fukushima, Japan, then the Myanmar, Thai border, some other places, all kinds of problems. And some of the images of the past can come back to you. That's a very popular image which will come to me. There's the picture of this man in Tiananmen Square. This is something still in my mind. This man stands alone there in front of the tank. And then the tank just rolls over him. The tank doesn't stop, One man died. Just like that. It's a very poignant image. I said, this guy, why is he sacrificing himself so much? You didn't have to do that. So you feel compassion. You say, maybe be well and happy where he is now. Or you think of these people in Fukushima, people who are suffering. And today there's a beautiful article in the newspapers talk about the Japanese love for animals. About the cat that's still waving at you, and the dog that waited 7 years at the station for the master to come back. The master already died, but the dog is always there every day waiting for the master to come back. Can you imagine that? So all these memories and pictures are very powerful skillful means, starting point you can use for your metta meditation, loving compassion meditation. So top down, so you say, all these people who are suffering, may they quickly recover from their pains and suffering, their losses. And also, when loving kindness pushes you to action, it becomes compassion. Actually, those people who go there to help others, they might not know it, or maybe they might know it. If they are pushed on by compassion, of course they know they will learn things. So this is where loving kindness in action is compassion. Compassion is you do. That's why you see Kuan Yin's hands. This one image has got 1,000 arms sticking out. Actually, Kuan Yin originally only had 2 arms. And then they said 2, no, you're not able to 4. They said 4, why not 6? And it was 6. 6, we can put some more. We can get 12, we can get 1,000. In fact, there are no numbers of that. It means there are countless ways of helping people. So if you look carefully at the 1,000 hands, each hand has got something, holding something, and has an eye, by the way, representing wisdom. Then somebody in the West, one of those artists, influenced by Buddhism, so he made a new kind of Buddha image. Many arms, but this time holding a scissors, holding a handphone, holding something, all modern things. So this is the new Buddha, new Buddhism, holding all kinds of gadgets. So Buddhism has penetrated the West. Right? So this is where the Bodhisattva idea, or the idea of compassion, you help people in different ways, countless ways, skillfully, but you must also have the wisdom, the eye, you must know how, where to help. Okay? So that's compassion. Compassion means you give help even when the person doesn't deserve it, especially when the person doesn't deserve it. Again, I get people coming to me, especially young people, it's quite private, they come up to me and they say, I have a family problem. These are young people, especially when they have left home, they are independent now, they are going to get a job, and they are trouble with their parents who never treated them well. They're for various reasons. Okay? So they ask me the famous question, how do I treat my parents? They are like this, they never treat us well. I say, okay, the fact that you ask me some question means you are concerned, and there are Buddhist values. So my short answer normally I say is, we're talking about the real here, samsara, all these parents, people who don't treat their children well, get caught in this kind of wheel. It could be culture, it could be poverty, it could be many things. Maybe they're not educated to love people. They never really had the chance to know Buddhism. We don't know how to teach them Buddhism sometimes. So they just act in a cyclic way, they hurt people. But you managed to come out with a cycle, So by loving them, by telling them I forgive you, you break the cycle. This is my favorite answer, breaking the cycle. Otherwise you repeat it and say, then you continue, your children will suffer. Wow, I end the cycle, So you can break the cycle. It's your choice. And of course, you can elaborate on it, but it's compassion. Compassion means you forgive, you help others, even when they do not deserve it, especially when they do not deserve it. If they deserve it, it's not compassion, it's gratitude. Gratitude also is good, but gratitude is like a duty. If you don't do it, like a duty, right? But compassion, you do this because the other person is a human being. The other being is living. It's not just human being, it's also unconditional to other beings. So you see, Japanese, they love these animals, so they will not move if the animals don't come along with them. So and the animals also are loving to them. Right? So the more you love your animals will come with that feeling also. We lost our beautiful white cat. This cat never ran away from home. So we felt very sad, of course. And then there was another cat. This tiny little kitten came in, So we were questioning this kitten. Did you plot this? So he came in, he didn't want to run away. Maybe he didn't like us more. But this new kitten is really intelligent and really bright. I really like it. So this is where we feel so good towards this tiny little beings, because we relate to them with compassion. Right? So compassion is unconditional love on the broader scale, especially towards less fortunate people, less fortunate beings. Top down, that's like Kuan Yin normally represented up from a dragon, from a hill up there, looking down the shoulder. Right? And then the appreciative joy, mudita. Metta, loving kindness, karuna, compassion, mudita. Mudita simply means joy, be joyful. But here, you are happy at other people's happiness. Other people's happiness generate happiness for you. Isn't that wonderful? Opposite of that, of course, jealousy. Right? Jealousy makes you turn greedy, yeah? But you're not dollar notes, so it doesn't help. So appreciative joy is saying sadhu. It is saying, yeah, this is great. I'm very happy this person is doing well. Right? I'm not able to do this, but I really appreciate this. So this is the idea of rejoicing in the goodness of others. So this is from down up. Okay? Down and up. So sadhu. So in many ways, when we come together for a study like this, we are showing the appreciation of Dharma. This Dharma is appreciative joy. These are qualities of the leader also. In fact, these small qualities are so wonderful, they can be applied on many levels of our life. A leader, first of all, must have loving kindness. He must like others as he likes himself. If he hates himself, he'll never be a good leader, a very dangerous leader. And then he must have compassion for those under him. Right? Especially people who are slow, for example. And then he must be appreciative of those who are better than him, or those the leader. But the question now is, what if things don't work out? We have all this loving kindness in us, we have appreciative joy, and then somehow we find that no matter how hard we work, there are still people doing wrong things about Buddhism, there are still people who don't like Buddhism, there's still confusion going on out there, people are still suffering. We say we make a vow to save all beings, but there are always beings suffering. So what do? We must have number 4, equanimity. Equanimity deals with the 4 beings. No matter what happens, you just remain calm. Here the idea is onlooking. Upekkha means onlooking. You look on. You don't turn away. But you tell yourself, I've done my best. The world is the way it is. Drowning karma. Good karma, bad karma, people are still caught up with all this. So I try my best, I've done my part. A lot of people, a lot of beings have been helped, but many more to come. So the spiritual work is never done, in other words. These 4 qualities are also the qualities of a professional, right? If you're a professional, a doctor, lawyer, whatever, you must have loving kindness towards others in your work. To be a truly good professional. To be professional obviously means to have faith. To have faith in your religion, profess your religion. Then number 2, you must be compassionate to your clients. Otherwise you'll be exploitative. Especially in the healing professions, right? And then number 3, altruistic joy. You feel happy when your client, when your patient is healed. But sometimes we lose patients, sometimes people are not happy. So you look on and say, well, okay, that's it. So you don't get upset. If you're a true professional, you don't get upset by failure. You look at success and you learn from success, you learn from failure. So equanimity is a very important aspect, the most difficult because that's why it's lost. So in fact, this diagram is not exactly correct. It should be like a 4-room thing, So the door, the room front chamber is loving kindness. You go to the front chamber, and then the second chamber is compassion. Then you must go through the compassion. The next chamber is appreciative joy, and the innermost chamber is equanimity. You must go through all successively. You cannot jump. Okay, jhana also like that. In fact, to really experience holistic to their fullness, you got to go into jhanas. You got to go into first or second jhana for the loving kindness to truly get the feeling of complete loving kindness. Then compassion, you got to go to higher jhanas. And definitely equanimity, you got to go to the 4th jhana. No more passion and pain, your mind is totally peaceful. And they also call social emotions in the sense that you need to meditate to understand that in our daily life, these 4 qualities can help us to be truly happy in this life. So, take for example, Buddha Gosha, he compares his Brahmavihara into how we raise our children. The loving kindness is like a mother having a baby, right? So this is my favorite meditation for mothers to be, If you see any of your friends having babies, you tell them, hey, you must do loving kindness. It's a good time for an excuse to That about loving kindness metta meditation. Because why? If you look at the Metta Sutta, there's only one parable there, only one comparison. Just as a mother would guard her only child, even so we should cultivate our loving kindness to others. So this is called the mother meditation. When you meditate, you imagine, visualize yourself like a mother or parent, and everyone around you, especially teachers, I tell some of the teachers that they love it. The students in your class are like your kids. So no matter how bad they are, you treat them like your own child, so you can relate to them better. So this mother meditates, may I be well, may my child be well. Because here, you and the child are one. Right? So this is the first meditation. Right? And then the child is born. It's a little infant. And the moment the infant cries, the mother will just wake up and rush the infant, wherever he or she is, no matter what time. Why? Because of compassion. Compassion in a sense, putting other people first. So put this child first, rush the child. Right? And then the baby grows up into a healthy young boy or girl playing on the ground. So the mother looks on and says, wow, look at my kid, it's big and healthy. Mother is so proud. So the mother is happy at the child's growth. So that is appreciative joy. And then this child grows into a big man, independent, gets married. Mother says, okay, I don't have to do with him anymore, he's grown up, he's independent. So that's equanimity. So all that. Yeah? And then many years ago, there was a man. It's interesting. You can develop this four into the 4 sevens. At that time, I didn't know there were so many other 4 sevens. I looked up, this idea has been used in other philosophies also. First 7, 0 to 7 years old, the mother is very important. Mother is very compassionate. So the mother must be there to take care of this child. Mother's love is very important. I.e. speaking, closeness with the mother, physical contact with the mother is very important. The child grows up normal, well-adjusted, happy, not shy, things like that. Then number 2, 7 to 14, that's already like adolescent, right? Pre-adolescent. That the father should play a bigger role. Mother should be there too, but father plays a bigger role. Both are there actually, it's just that in this case the man, men got less conditional love, got more conditional love. Mother more unconditional love. Father always say, you want my money, you better listen to what I say. Mother doesn't like mother, so I serve you just as you are, usually. So the second 7, the father has to play a role, like make a man out of this man, okay, boy, make a man out of this boy. Third 7 would be 14 to 21, the schools they go already, right? So there's in the tribe you have the uncle, someone else, an elder, someone in the tribe will train this kid in the ways of the tribe. So in Singapore, the army takes over, the state takes over. In the among the Indians, they go out a while and then come back, heroes. And then finally, we reach 21 and above, they're on their own. So this is an ideal kind of more or less 4 stages of life. Okay? So this is another that apply in the 4 Brahmavihara. So you can imagine the Brahmavihara is so useful in terms of human training, human working, many aspects of human life. So that's a bit of introduction. Let's look at